Hello, Marky Dragon, also known as Marcus Eikenberry in real life, and good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever in the world you are. Welcome to the first roundtable for 7 Days to Die. The game where, I don't know, I actually died way before 7 days, but, you know, just saying.
I'm on 21. Come on, Mark. You gotta step up your game.
You've made it 21 days without dying?
21 days hardcore, haven't died.
Oh my god, you are the man! 21 days? Holy cow. So everyone, Yeti Nation, Twitch broadcaster, Yeti Nation, you can go find him there. You, of course, you've been playing 7 Days to Die a little bit here, haven't you?
Yes, I have.
And what is your impression of the game so far?
I can't stop playing it. It's quite enjoyable. I'm excited to see what they'll do and how to progress the game. I feel it's somewhat limited, but there's huge potential to change that. So it's basically in the developers' hands to make those improvements and listen to the community.
Yeah, and it is. They call it Phase 1 Alpha, which is really what it feels like. There's a lot of game errors. I happened to be there when you had, what was that, a 6-day time warp?
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah, that was pretty awful.
It was.
We can laugh about it now, but at the time, I'm sure you wanted to cry. So, for those of you who don't know, that are just hearing about this game for the first time, it's a cross. It's kind of like it's zombie apocalypse Minecraft, except it's hardcore. It's not all bright and cheery like Minecraft, and it's not necessarily even funny. It's a lot more hardcore, and it has a touch of tower defense to it, which is a very special subset of games. Which there are not many tower defense games, but basically, obviously, Yeti has figured out how to defend himself. So, Yeti, I'm interested to know how you've survived 21 days already.
Fortification, and more fortification.
Also known as tower defense.
Yeah, I'm actually putting in my second moat of spikes right now. My moat right next to my house has a cobblestone wall to prevent them from breaking in easily if they get through the spikes. There's 4 rows of spikes. Lots of torches to slow down the zombies.
Yeah, torches I think is key, and I assume you're building with stronger materials than wood and dirt.
Yes, I'm using cobblestone. I'm about to put up a reinforced steel wall.
Ooh.
So
I understand the reinforced steel. I haven't been able to make any yet, but I understand that it's quite strong and it can span for, gosh, what is it, like 20 blocks or something like that? It's an incredible distance.
yes, definitely, it's a huge distance, which is key. Key.
Yeah. So we got some others here with us as well. We've got Sean, Patrick, and Brian. Welcome, guys.
Hey.
So now, Brian, you and I have been playing this. I know that you've been playing it right from the start. In fact, Brian here is the one of the people who introduced me to it. I got a couple of introductions, but I think that Brian was the one that said, "Hey, go look at this. Pay $15 and get into their alpha." And that was pre-Kickstarter. Thank you, Brian.
Yep. No problem.
And now, Brian, you've been playing this since you got your copy, which is right about the same time as me. What draws you to this game?
Yeah. I mean, the mix between Minecraft and DayZ and WarZ. I mean, it's a very interesting kind of survivor game where you can build up your own fortresses, and yeah, I really wanted to see that. And as you already mentioned it, even if it is in the first alpha build, I mean, it's worth it to buy the game. It's quite amazing. It's hard to survive without any defense, or let us say it's almost impossible to survive a night without any defense. And yeah, you can do everything what you want to defend yourself. You need to pick up everything. You can grow corns, potatoes, and stuff like that. That's a thing that I want to have in a game, for example.
And they have rocket launchers.
Yeah, I never found one yet, but I think it will deal incredible amount of damage to everything around it.
I almost killed Lisa. I almost killed my wife. Shooting one near her, and the explosion caught her partway.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. So now you also have been working on figuring out server side on this.
Yes.
And how's your progress going on that?
So currently I've talked and discussed about that issue with a friend, and we finally achieved the goal that we have a dedicated server running. Currently only with 4 slots. I've seen that there are also some people are talking about 600 slots on the server, but I think it's
600. Oh my god.
yeah. They were discussing about that in the official board, and I was like, seriously, 600 slots are a bit too much for the server. Currently, the game is eating a lot of RAM, and you know that by yourself. And also the frame rate is going down like hell if you have too many people on the server itself. And yeah, it's working out properly. The server is running now. It's day 38 already on the server, so. It's working out properly, and if you are logging out, for example, it's saving automatically like in Minecraft. As you know it from Minecraft, you go in the game, you build some building, then you just log out and the game is saved. So the server don't need to be stopped to save the game. It's saving automatically if there's no player on the server.
I was worried about that because like Yeti experienced the time warp, Lisa and I experienced a time warp, and so we've been exiting out of the game to actually make sure that it saves. And I had another time warp even after I talked to you, Yeti, and told you about the time warps. We lost another day when I dropped a gun out of my belt.
Really? I haven't experienced any since. Every night or every morning, I restart my game to make sure, because that was when you came in. That was my first life, and I was already on day 6, my first time playing the game, and I was like, no, and I started so well, and I had to start all over. So now I'm not risking it. I'm making sure I'm exiting out to make sure I don't have that time warp.
So Brian seems to have a server up and running, and maybe it eliminates that issue. Now, Brian, the only thing, though, the server is persistent world, isn't it?
Yes.
And so when you say it's day 38, so the server's been running for like 38 hours now or something like that?
No, the server. I set up the server today in the early morning, and yeah, it's continuously running. So if nobody is on the server is continuously running. So the time is running further and further.
Yeah. Well, that could be quite a challenge to have it be persistent, to come back and find out whether or not your house is still even standing.
Yeah. Even if you're offline, the zombies are attacking because the server is running.
Yeah. So, Patrick, how are you liking the game? He's not sure. He's a little bit shy. Sean, how about you?
Well.
Okay.
Sorry, my mic cut out there.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I just bought it right now for $35. So
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I'm actually installing it, about to play.
Oh, so you haven't even played yet. You're just hanging out, getting
No, I
convinced
saw the
that you need-
videos on it. Yeah, I saw the videos on it. It looks pretty good. That's why I just purchased it.
Yeah. So, and from what you've seen so far, do you think $35 is a good price?
Yeah, it's decent. I mean, I could go for more, honestly.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well. So, whoever wants to answer this, what is the best strategy for a new player in the game? Obviously, it's to get some sort of safety, but how do you go about doing that?
I mean, in my case, the first time when I was playing it, I was almost lost, and so I restarted the game, and yeah, first thing was chopping down trees, building wooden spikes, and then find some place where I can place a 3-line or a 3 times big row around the whole building so that I can survive the first night to gather some new resources on the next day.
Mm-hmm. I found actually that the first night, I've done first night a couple of times now, and I decided that the first night actually that I spend it at a house that's not the one I'm using for my fortification. And so they beat the crap out of the house all night, and I just sit on the roof, and then that way, you know, I'm able to take off, and the damage doesn't have to be repaired because I don't plan on staying in that house anyway.
The only problem with that is, oh my god, the car just blew up in my face. Sorry about that. The only problem with that is now they're coming out with climbing zombies, so good luck.
Right.
Good luck with that one.
Yeah. So maybe I'll be in the attic and I'll have to block everything off. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about climbing zombies. It's certainly going to up the level of risk.
Yeah, definitely. And do not forget the flying giant bees that will come with the next build as well.
Oh yeah, the giant bees or whatever.
Yeah.
Gosh. Well,
And
I
the
hope.
vomiting.
Oh yeah, and the vomiting one that vomits like acid or something like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Where do you guys see this game being in a year from now? Do you see it having a following like Minecraft does?
I think it has a lot of potential, and yeah, it will. Maybe it's not growing like Minecraft. I mean, Minecraft was. It's a totally different story, but it will be successful, and I think people will buy a lot of copies of the game.
Mm-hmm.
I hope they are buying it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, they opened up sales again. They actually closed off sales for the first couple of days because they were so swamped just trying to get orders out to people who pre-ordered.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think also about the price. The price is more than okay. I mean, 35 euros. It's dollars in this case. It's quite okay. It's not that much.
Mm-hmm.
You think about it. You get all new alpha builds. You get the beta builds later, and then you get the final version for free and further updates. So.
Mm-hmm.
35 euros is not dollars is not a big loss at the end, so that's more than okay.
Yeah, Yeti, have you found that being underground is probably better? You know, that you can survive a lot better by digging way deep and having a big mine.
It depends. I don't have a mine as my base. I have a base. I have really nice fortification. I have a nice house, and it's, I don't know. People say zombies can dig. They haven't dug down, but I prefer having a base where you can go out and shoot zombies if you want to shoot them. I have a farm on my property and everything. So it all depends on how you want to play the game.
I have been going out and shooting every night, and because you get these like swarms of zombies that'll come up. And if you take them all out, you sustain very little damage to your fortification. But you use a lot of ammo at the same time. So it's been working out for me, though. So far, I haven't ran out of ammo. Do you guys know if stuff actually respawns? Like, if you go and clear out an entire house of everything, does stuff eventually respawn in there?
Not that I've seen so far.
I think each time you connect to, you start up the game, it has respawned, but not while you're playing.
Oh, interesting. I'll have to check.
I haven't noticed anything respawn in my game.
Yeah, I haven't yet either, but I was kind of just hoping that maybe some stuff would or whatnot. Kind of like in an infestation, you go through and kind of have a route and farm certain areas and stuff like that for your weapons and ammo and stuff.
I took a tip from Lisa, your wife. She when I was watching the stream one day, and she mentioned every time she loots something that she destroys it afterwards, and that way you're not looting the same thing twice every time you go out.
Mm-hmm. Like bags and stuff.
Yeah.
I've been removing the mailboxes in front of every house that I loot.
Yeah.
So besides that, the mailbox has metal, and you need
Yep.
the metal scraps. So, yeah, yeah.
For making iron ingots.
Yeah, for making your tools.
If you mine iron ore, it's a much more efficient way to get ingots.
But
Yeah,
you need that scrap at the beginning to get your tools to get
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
mining. So
absolutely, absolutely.
railings also gives you scrap. If you hit them with a stick, they break really quick.
Oh, if you hit the railings with a stick.
Yup.
Okay, okay.
No wear on tools or anything.
Yeah.
I shouldn't give you guys all my tricks here. I gotta keep some for me.
Well, what else do you have on your list that you want to share with us?
You can make an infinite source of water, like in my. Oh my god! I almost fell in my pit. You can make an infinite source of water. You get a bucket, and then let's say your house is far from a water source. Well, you just dig a 2x2 hole, and you have an infinite source of water.
Yeah, so you just then you just dump the water into there.
Yep, you dump the water into there, and then you have water, and you can fill up your jar and stuff like that.
What kind of now? I know some crops require water. What kind of crops are you growing?
Potatoes, corn, blueberries. None of them need water.
None of them need water.
Yeah,
Oh.
primarily just grow potatoes.
I thought I saw Rhino Crunch saying that his blueberries needed water, but maybe not.
Nope.
So, okay. You know, and you can grow stuff underground. We've successfully been growing crops underground. All you have to do is place plenty of torches.
Okay.
So, and you know, Lisa dug a pit almost all the way down to the bottom. I don't know if she hit bottom or not, but it's so far down that we don't even hardly hear any zombie noises down there.
Yeah.
And that seems to have been pretty secure. Now, what I haven't figured out yet is if zombies drop down our shaft, will they die?
A lot of people have been telling me to make really deep pits so I don't have to deal with the zombies, but I'm like, that's kind of boring. I like the whole aspect of having to maintain my spike pits and, you know, making sure that there's spikes in them and stuff like that. So,
Well, I think too we're about to get a lot. It's about to get a lot harder with flying, the flying bees and stuff
Yeah.
like that. That'll make your pits useless. And you know the zombie AI is not too bad because you know my first several nights I kind of realized that where I had reinforced and stuff that the zombies actually avoided those areas and went for weaker spots. And I thought that was kind of interesting that they were. I don't know how they're determining what spot is weaker, but they were like focusing on particular areas, and we've had our house invaded a couple of times. So
one thing that I'd like to see them fix is zombies spawning inside your house.
Yes. Absolutely.
okay, has that's happened?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's happened several times, and then you're like, really? What are you doing? You're breaking my door. You shouldn't even be in here.
Yeah.
Or when they spawn, they instantly break blocks. So you know, if they break the wrong block in your building, you might lose your whole building just because of, you know, they're spawning in there.
Structural integrity.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's my understanding that to stop them from spawning in your house, you need more torches. That the area they're spawning is too dark.
The way my place is set up, I managed to find a automobile garage alongside the road, and it was made of brick. So I figured that was a pretty good starting foundation. And I got inside and fortified it from the inside out, and just basically made it like a solid stone block. And I drove a mine shaft straight down the middle of it, all the way down to bedrock. And I used the roof of the garage as my primary sort of living space. And then, you know, of course, you can see off the roof down too at the same time. And I have them spawn on the roof, and I've got torches on all four corners of the roof, and I still have them spawn on the roof. So I'm not sure if it's if that's right.
I've never had any spawn inside our house. And I don't think we've had any spawn down in the mine either.
I haven't had any spawn down in the mine, but what is or was the main floor of the garage, I've had them in there, and I've had them on the roof. But I haven't had any fall down into the mine shaft yet. But it's pretty far. Like I said, I went down to bedrock, so if they did fall down there, it would. They must take. I mean, if you can fall down the mine shaft and sustain damage, then I'm sure they can. So.
Yeah, except I use a ladder.
Yeah, my mine shaft is 2 blocks. So if I pressed off the ladder onto the second block, I will actually fall. But you can still grab. You can, while you're falling, you'd still press back and grab the ladder too. So a little bit of
how do you guys feel about these bees?
I have a feeling that the bees are going to be intermittent. They're not just going to like maybe you'll be running through the bush and you'll come across a bee or something. I don't know if they're just going to be launching aerial attacks on you. Because otherwise, I mean, it could get quite out of hand. Like it could get unbearable fast.
I think that if the game becomes too hard, that they would adjust that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, Lisa, her primary complaint has been, please, I want longer days. She can't get enough done during the day.
Right.
So,
well, I like the fact that you gotta time and things like the other day I had to go from, because I'm all the way on 260 and Davis, like on that corner, and I wanted to go to the farm. I ran to the farm during the day, got there, looted, fortified the steel garage, waited for morning, and then took back. I like that factor of the game where you have to be like, man, I got a time as soon as day hits, I'm out the door, I'm running to the next location to loot stuff because I need supplies. If the days are too long, it's going to make the game easy, in my opinion.
That's a really interesting point. Because we will have, I believe, PvP in this eventually, and consider if there's multiple groups on a server, clans or whatever, and so a clan of 5 people is going to go attack another clan of 5 people, but they're on the other side of the map. They're not only going to have to carry all their weapons and stuff, they're going to have to build some sort of fortification to last the night so they can attack first thing in the morning. Or they're going to have a plan for how they're going to, fight while the zombies are on steroids.
Yeah.
That could be
Marcus,
quite interesting.
You're lucky because you got a partner. If you
Right.
try doing everything solo, it gets twice as hard because, of course, you only have so many hours in a day to get something done. So,
Yeah, you've been playing solo, haven't you?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
I played a little bit with Saint, but I've been playing primarily solo. So, I like the aspect of PvP, but I show up with a rocket launcher, 1 rocket, your house is gone.
That's not true. I mean, seriously, unless I didn't fire my rockets well, but I did 2 hits to a house, and the amount of damage that was done to wood was heavy, but it certainly didn't take the house down, and I think that if it was concrete or some sort of stone, that would have withstood it a lot better.
yeah, I think we'll see countermeasures put in the game too, to make it not so easy. Because, I mean, in reality, you could make a huge minefield instead of a moat around your house, and people that bandits still have to get through your minefield in order to launch a rocket at it, for example. I think once PvP is introduced, we'll start to see other items in the game that sort of help either defend or assist you in attacking that make it a little more. I mean, we could still see some sort of a material that may be harder to harvest, but it's extremely strong and can stand up to even a bomb blast or something like that. So
No, I agree, but the thing for me is I can come in with 40 stacks of dirt, build a walkway over to the top of your house, like build steps all the way to the top of your house, break 2 blocks, get in your house, loot everything, and take off, which is fine. Like, you can keep your valuable stuff on you, but there's only so much you can keep on you. So it's like the ransacking that's going to be going on. So if you're not on 24 hours a day, you're losing stuff, guaranteed. And especially as a streamer, people are going to know where I am. I'm going to get constantly ransacked. So it's, I want to see measures coming in, like maybe have a safe, kind of like a lockbox in War Z.
Yeah.
Stuff like that that's going to, I can put my valuable stuff, like, okay, you want to destroy my house, big deal, whatever. I can rebuild. But if I found a sniper rifle, if I had a rocket launcher, or if I had a ton of supplies, I want to store those and make sure that they're not taken from me. Because I can't be on 24 hours a day.
Right.
But at the same time, you got to get creative, right? You can make, you can have sub bases, you can have secret rooms underground.
As a streamer, everybody sees what I.
That's
true.
understandable. But at the same time, I mean, how can you? They're developing a game. I mean, they can't start putting in measures into the game based on you being a streamer, right? Like,
no, but other people feel the same way too. Like, like they don't. People enjoy playing games, survival games, but they also don't want to feel like they're working for nothing because they keep getting ransacked. They want to have that certain protection. So having a safe. Like, I see there's safes in the game. There's a little safe in my house. If you can put a code on that, and you can put some valuable stuff in there, that'd be cool, because then they can't take off of the safe.
But what happens if they blow up the safe?
No.
But are they going to waste a rocket to blow up all those materials? Some people will, some people won't.
Plenty of people will do that.
Yeah.
It's early on. We'll have to see what happens, but I'm sure that they'll have countermeasures in place.
Yeah, actually, one thought that came to mind, being creative right here, right now, would be to buy some additional accounts and then use them as mules to hold things.
Oh yeah, the old Diablo style.
Yeah, that might be an answer. It's not the best answer, but I did also, I watched several videos of Rhino Crunch. And another thing he had was a hidden spawn room that was all walled off. It looked like it was natural wall outside of it and everything, and it was a room that was all closed off. He just kind of knew where it was, and he had all kinds of supplies in there and his sleeping bag in there. Which, by the way, it took us forever to figure out how sleeping bags work. We kept spawning back at the original spot, and I'm like, what the hell? This is getting so annoying. And basically, you can lay down multiple sleeping bags in different locations. They show up on the map. You click on the one and highlight the one where you want to spawn the next time you die.
Yeah, also only one person needs to lay it down, and everyone can use it then.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yep.
Well,
I found it out today. I put one down, and all of a sudden 2 friends of mine were right next to me. I was like, oh. Hello.
Okay, well, that negates Rhino Crunch's thought that he would be able to have his little safe room.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to get on his server and kill myself.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, now I've looted him.
So maybe if they add something like teams or something, that you have to sign into a team or something and then only use the sleeping bag spawn. Maybe something like that. But currently, you can just click on any sleeping bag on the map.
Yeah, I think it needs to be player specific, and I think you can only have one would be the best way, because then somebody who's not playing hardcore can just go to one spot, put down a sleeping bag, kill himself,
and travel.
Go to another location, put down a sleeping bag,
fast
and then
travel. It's teleporting.
Yeah.
It's sort of like Battlefield in a sense, where you can click on the spawn spot that you want to join your squad at.
Mm-hmm. And maybe that's a feature, maybe that's a detraction. Maybe we're looking at this as a little bit too hardcore of players. Maybe they intended this to be a lighter game. Yeah.
Well,
possible.
Later they wanted to implement several game mods that you can play on the server, so you can have a PvP server, a co-op server, and so on and so on.
Yeah.
Oh.
So they were not only focusing on bringing out one server where you can do PvP, PvE as well, so they split that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What I would like to see is the more players that are on the server, the zombie population increases.
Huh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Definitely.
Because
that's a good idea. Yeah.
Because if
It's a
I was
balance.
playing by myself and there's zombies, like I even think there should be more zombies, that's my opinion, but if there's 4 people running around together, the zombie population's too low. But if the zombie population increases with the number of players on the server, it makes it more of a challenge.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So, and like a person said in the chat already, something like protected regions, like you can have a small region around your base that protects it from certain things like spawning in, completely destroying it and stuff like that. That will be fun as well for a PvP server, for example. They at least have an area that you can use as a safe zone to start in each time.
Like a safe room.
Say again?
Yeah.
Like a safe room.
Oh,
Like a safe room, like a safe region that only you can spawn in or something.
Mm-hmm. Well, maybe you can. Maybe there's some sort of fortification that you can put around a home or whatever to make that home.
Yours.
Story kind of.
Yeah, yeah. It's like staking a claim or something like that. Although, if we're playing PvP, I certainly want to try and tunnel through your walls and take you out.
Yeah.
So
Just a free-for-all giver.
yeah, I want to take my horde of players and when I'm pissed off at you, I want to,
Ultima Online, yeah.
Ultima Online. Well, that's not exactly what I was thinking, but
I must have played the game a little different than you.
I was not a player killer in Ultima Online. It was not until War Z Infestation that I learned how to be evil. And
It's not survival of the fittest. It's not being evil. Come on.
Well, you got to be able to. It's a different mindset.
Yeah.
Because every in Ultima Online, every player was friendly unless they had a red name, and then you knew that they were a player killer. And like Infestation, the players, it's hard to tell sometimes what they are until you get really close to them. And by the time you've gotten close enough to tell, they've unloaded a clip into you and you're dead.
Yeah.
But everybody kills everybody in War Z.
It's true. It's true.
Doesn't matter if you're a good person or a bad person, you're still killing people.
Mm-hmm.
Just some people killed more bad people and ended up getting the rep of a good person, but they're just as bad as the bad guy.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I know. I'm like a constable or something like that, and I'm equal opportunity. I kill anybody that moves that's not in the clan. And
Exactly.
I'm not. I don't know. I'm not worried about really the fact that what my title is in that game. So what are some of the we'll switch gears here just a little bit for the second half. What are some of the things that you would like the developers to know that's important to you to have in the game?
I'm a little bit late into your conversation right now, but I play a lot of Rust. And the way I see this game is, if for PvP wise, if they don't make it where your buildings is not destructible as easy, like JD said with like rockets or whatever, the game PvP wise will die. Rust right now has a population of like 30 people, just because crews raid their house and take their loot, just like Yeti said. Like, you work hard to make your house to gather resources, and there will be douchebag clans out there that, for example, in Rust, there's this one big clan that all they do is raid everybody. So the population on the PvP wise is getting really, really low. So I feel like PvP wise on this game, I really see it going more like Rust as far as building, but it's too early. If they could just make like, I don't know, like own your land kind of, and like, yeah, they can go there and loot but not destroy your house. I think that would be a great idea for PvP, because I got away from Rust because of the same reason. It's tedious. Building your house, finding places, it's tedious. And not only that, but are they going to have multiple servers? Is it going to be just one server? How is that going to work out if you join another server? How do you have to start all over?
I think each world is separate.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, and that's going to be, like I said, and each world is probably going to have their own clan that is probably going to take over the server. So I think as far as PvP wise goes, I think that there's a lot to be considered in this game. If the way I see it, like I said, I play Rust a lot, and Rust is just annoying. Like, especially if you play solo, like it's not playable. Rust is not playable at all, and with loot system involved, and you find the stuff, but it's not as easy as just like, oh, I'm gonna go in the house and find this, because somebody could be camping that house and waiting for you to come out and take your loot, or follow your house and just destroy your house, or even troll your house. That's another thing. Can they build a door? Can anybody open your door, or if you place the door, are you the only one that's going to be able to open that door?
Everybody can open it.
I totally
no, I'm saying in PvP wise. Right now we're looking at it's an alpha. It's not meant to be open to PvP. I'm talking about PvP wise. Right now, this is a single player, or you join by using another service, a third party, to create a LAN server. But we're talking about actual PvP. If anybody can open your door, then what's the point of actually owning a place?
Well, maybe you just have to have a lock on it. And if there's a lock on it, then it needs to be broken down, or they need to go through the wall, or something like that. And
it is possible that PvP is not going to propel this game.
It could be. It could be. PvP doesn't propel Minecraft.
Exactly. And I know there's a lot of people out there that are hyped for it, but I mean, at the end of the day, maybe, if you want to play on a PvP server, you can, but, that's not necessarily what propels the game.
Infestation has, they have safe zones. And in the safe zones, you can't battle each other, and you actually have access to, like, global inventory, to a bank. And, maybe that's the answer, is that there are some safe zones like that when you're on a PvP-enabled server, or whatever.
Right.
And
options.
And that there only be a couple of places you can go, so it creates points of contention, because getting your shit into there safely is a big deal, and getting it back out safely is a big deal. So there's still risk, but when you do get it in, you have it.
Right.
And maybe that's where you want to lay down your sleeping bag and spawn at all the time, if whatever. So I don't know. I mean, I'm not trying to copy don't want necessarily copy other games and stuff, but it's one way of looking at how to guarantee some safety on some of the stuff.
Yeah. Well, I don't think, people say, oh, Warzy's a copy of DayZ and this and that. It's the same genre, and if there's things in a game that work, why ignore that?
Absolutely,
why ignore that?
Absolutely, yeah.
Just build off of it, yeah.
Yeah, take that idea, marriage it with something else, make it better, and you're done. Or even just take that idea, If it's not a part of the whole master plan, if it's not the entire master plan for the game, it's not it's not stealing or anything.
I think it's important to do that, actually, because it's sort of, in a sense, it creates evolution of an idea, and then you have something that like you said, was a good idea and turned into be something even better because someone built on it and it evolved into something better.
Yeah. So of course, some of the stuff that's on my list is I want more stability in the game, and not necessarily more features, but more stability. And that's just because I get very frustrated about losing my work that I've done.
Yeah.
And there is some glitchiness in the game still.
Yes.
There's a way to renew all of your crafting items instantly with 0 cost. And
I don't do that.
No, neither do I. And but people do it, and that needs to be fixed. You're able to look through walls if you push your face into a wall, and so that's an issue as well.
The console needs to be fixed.
The control.
The console, if you
console, yes.
The console.
Somebody in the multiplayer is picking up some stuff.
Yes, and
I did a little bit of reading on that actually, and based on what I've read so far, the console error is due to the other person spamming E.
Yes, I think that's the problem.
Apparently, there's a bat file. It's a short piece of code that you can run during the game, like while you play it. That the host starts up the bat file and then starts up the client, and apparently it helps prevent the console from popping up all the time.
Yeah. Then you just run. I assume that bat file is just a dedicated server then.
Yes.
Run it as a dedicated server.
That's what it says in the code. I'm not a programmer,
exactly,
but that's what it says in the code. It says it's a dedicated server.
Then you're basically running 2 clients. One as a dedicated server, and then the other one to join with.
I see. I haven't played with anyone to test it, but I do have the little piece of code to try it when I...
Yeah, we've tried it on our dedicated box. It worked, except that the resources the game needed, or the server needed, was just too much to run on our server box currently, because we have too many games running on it already. So we had to
it
cancel
doubles, actually, by running the bat file?
Basically, yeah, you're running two games then. Yeah.
I see.
Interesting.
That's something I think that can easily be patched.
Yeah, true, but the bat file uses less resources than the actual game if you're hosting as well, because it runs no graphics, for example, and all that. You just run a bat file with the server in it. That's all it runs. So the console, basically.
Yeah, well, I'll get a chance before the next roundtable to play with that some. Brian put up server for us. We'll see if those problems go away. We'll actually know. I think we'll know by then how stable it is too.
And if there are no time warps, that's the most important thing. If there are no time warps, everything is fine, I think.
Okay, so my game just ran out of memory.
Yeah, that's also a thing that they need to fix.
Yeah.
I mean, the memory problem is a really huge problem. I mean, okay, it is the first alpha build, and this is more than normal. But they should set the priority on these issues first, and then they should continuously bring in some new content, new enemies, and stuff like that. I think focusing on the main issues like the RAM problems, and like, for example, you place some wooden spikes on the top of a bundle of grass, and then you hit yourself.
And you spike yourself in the head.
Yes.
Yes. I've done that a few times.
Yeah.
I killed myself that way, actually.
Yeah, I mean, these are smaller issues, but they should be fixed. These are the most important things. And if this stuff is getting fixed, they can focus on other things, and so on and so on.
Just based on how well Alpha 1 has been done, I have high hopes for Alpha 2. I want to give these guys the benefit of the doubt and say that when Alpha 2 comes out, that they're gonna have addressed a lot of these core problems, and and introduced a few new things that maybe we didn't expect to see. So I'm looking forward to.
So I just experienced a 3-day time warp.
Oh. And I thought you said you were exiting every day and night.
I did, but I've never ran out of memory while playing.
Oh, yeah. So I've watched my system resources while playing, and I've had the game use as much as 6 gigabytes.
Wow.
A lot of times it uses just only around a gig, but I've watched it creep up higher and higher and higher. I have enough memory, so it wasn't a problem. But I am experiencing another issue, which is I'm experiencing really low frame rates. Are any of the rest of you having this issue?
Yes,
Only
yeah.
when there's a lot of zombies.
I had the same problem, and yesterday I was downloading a pack of net framework that they were suggesting for, and I was downloading it, and after that now I have 64 to 89 frames per second, and that's
Holy cow.
very good, I think.
Yeah. So yeah, I disabled everything. I turned my distance down to as low as it would go. I turned off the VSync. I turned off all effects. And at 1920 by 1080, I'm getting 7 frames a second.
Wow.
And I've got a GTX 770 and the second fastest Intel processor.
Yeah, that's not right. Something's going on there for you, because I'm not running.
Exactly.
I run half the system you do, Marcus, and I get 60 frames.
I get
Yeah.
60 frames as well. Even when streaming, I get 60 frames.
Maybe
Yeah.
you guys have installed the net frameworks 2008.
Yeah, maybe.
Is that what it's called? Net Frameworks 2008?
Yeah, I will give you a link to the support page here on the Hangout, and there you will find a link to the Microsoft page. Just download it, install it, and it should work.
Okay.
Or
So
at least it should help.
it's on their support page here. Okay.
Yes.
So I will I'll post that here for all of you in chat who are watching this live, and then oh yeah, you beat me to it, and then I'll include that in the description of the video, or if I forget, it's 7daystoDie.com/support. So I will do that before I play again, and definitely, because I'm loving the game, and actually when I'm playing it's okay, but it'll say I'm getting 20 frames a second in the game, but when I look at my XSplit recording, it's at 7, and that's really crazy.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I had the same problems with XSplit as well, but I didn't test it here on this machine in Augsburg currently, so because I don't have XSplit installed here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay.
Just off topic, did I hear someone say that they're hosting a server?
Yes.
Yeah.
How do I get a link to that?
I'm not sure it's public, although that's up to Brian. But yeah, it only supports 4 people.
Oh, I see. Okay, that's fine then.
I mean, 4 people it's possible to do that for 8 people as well, but I mean, it's consuming a lot of RAM at the end, and
Yeah.
that's the problem. Even if you have a lot of RAM in a server, normally a server is running with around about 64 gigabytes or more. A whole sword, I mean, a whole blade, a server blade, and this shouldn't be a problem for the server at all, but I don't want to risk to damage some of the RAM because it's not very easy to replace them, and not very cheap because I'm not buying RAM in a computer store or something like that. It's a valued RAM, it's more expensive than usual RAM.
Yeah, it's okay. I just thought I'd ask, because if it was, or even semi-public.
But if you want to join, you can join. It's not a problem for me.
So, okay. Well, any final comments? I think we're about at the end of the show.
Yep.
Selfless plug.
Yeah.
Twitch.tv/YetiNation. Come check me out.
Yep. Yeti, you can post in my chat so that everybody can get a link to you who's watching live, and they can all go over and see you if he's playing right now. And then got another show coming up in a half hour for those of you who are watching live. Okay, well, I have to say I'm very pleased with the game so far. It has exceeded my expectations, and I'm really enjoying playing it. And so better believe that I'm going to be getting into it again as soon as I'm done with my work today. So, okay, take care, guys. Thank you. And
See you later, guys.
See ya.
So, Everybody else here watching here on Twitch live. We've got another show coming up in about 40 minutes, and then if you're watching on YouTube, well, next week we shall have another roundtable, and I'll post another edition, same time, same place next week, and or you can join us live right here on Twitch. So take care, everybody.